go. Hello, everybody in Chatland. How are we all doing? It's really weird having the second screen sort of set up with that over there because I can see all the adverts that because on this one, because I've got a laptop watching everything, and I haven't got an ad blocker on it, so I see all the crap that that Twitch put up, and it's yeah. Oh jeez, it's all going off already. So hey Jazz, how you doing? Thank you for subbing. 21 months, crazy person. Um, that name there, Manessilocus. That one. That's a name. 2 months. Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're good. Listen, yep, thank you. You feel like mocking me relentlessly for the pronunciation of that name because that was awful. I think this is one of the first streams that I've had in a while where I feel like my video is working all right, the audio is working all right, the green screen seems to be doing its thing fine as well. So, hey Dolly, how you doing? I'm okay, mate. Just tired. Um, Evening, oh sock god. For fuck's sake, we've started already. Uh, why is this? It's sending me. It's just sent me a notification saying, "Do I want to go and watch another stream?" That's just weird.
Not right now.
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you, Twitch. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here. We're gonna do another one. This is my, as I've said before, this is one of my favourite sorts of streams to do. Chatting about people's first times at the events and just see what they got up to really. And it's really interesting to find out all the good, all the bad, and the ugly. If you saw on the opening screen, you saw a great picture of Scott stood there, looking glorious. Wow, he was there.
I was right, yeah.
And then you saw a picture of me at the first event, looking fucked, absolutely knackered. So yes, the photo with me talking to Scott was by Rich Burge. So shooting cosplay theme. How socks be with you, sock god. Jesus Christ. We got a hype train going as well, almost.
Let's go.
So yeah, so let's crack on with that. See if we can get that going. I'm going to jump straight into a question that came up on the Discord because Zara is. Oh, thank you. My phone's been updated. Wonderful. Cheers for that. Zara's a wonderful, wonderful human being, and she's been in the community for a very, very long time. And as I say, she makes all this wonderful jewelry as well. So she has asked, how has their immersion in the tabletop roleplay world affected their views and attitude towards LARP? That's a really good question. I wasn't expecting to go off immediately with a top quality question like that.
Yeah, well, let's get into it.
My questions are normally pretty wank, so it's.
Well, we'll just get Zara on, and then she can ask the questions then.
She's obviously better than me.
Yeah. How has their immersion in the TTRPG world affected their views and attitudes towards LARP? Interesting. Okay, so I should probably preface that I was in the D&D community for a long time, probably like 2017-ish, I think, is when I first started.
Okay.
And I was big into Critical Role, the show with like Matt Mercer and everyone.
Yeah.
And then started playing around that same time. So I have about like 2017 to now, like 6 years ish of playing.
Okay.
Then it was my experience playing was a very friend first experience, if that makes sense. So I never played with strangers or anything like that. Me and my closest friends would sit down and we'd play through an adventure together.
Yeah.
And the goal was to have as much fun with each other as possible. It was never like, let's create a compelling. Well, it's nice if you do, but it's never like, let's create a compelling story and really get immersed in the world. It was more, let's have as much fun together as we can playing this game. But comparing that to LARP, I didn't expect it to be. I know everyone talks about it being immersive. I didn't expect it to be as immersive as I found it the first time. Like, for instance, when I first arrived.
Yeah.
So I was in. So my character's in Wintermark, and when I was in the moot, I want to say.
Moot, yeah.
Yeah.
Notice the
They,
joy in my voice when we talk about moot. Fucking
we love the moot. Um, they said stick around if you're new because we'll do a new player battle test, I guess they want to call it, whatever they want to call it, initiation for how to fight as a Wintermarker. And it was basically the Dunnings,
Yeah.
or was it Dunners? Dunnings, okay. The Dunnings led everyone through this little routine. You know, basically we all stand in a line next to each other with shields, and the big pointy boys hit over the top. And that was basically it. And we have to get in two groups, stand opposite each other, and scream at each other, and clash, and do all that kind of stuff. So I was in that, and I was going through the motions. I had my newly bought sword that I got from one of the tents at the other side of the field, and I was like, I was going through it, and I felt like the new kid at like drama club or something. Like everyone is kind of like in it and knows what's going on, and I'm just kind of trying to desperately play catch up. So I was going through the motions, and everyone else was getting really into it. And then I was like, oh, maybe the battles aren't going to be for me if this is what it's going to be like, because it's all a bit. It felt a bit forced. Like the Dunnings were doing great, and they were leading everyone through it amazingly, and everyone was getting it. And we were obviously better by the end than we were at the start.
Yeah.
I was like, well, it doesn't feel like maybe I thought it would feel like. And then later that same night, I went on a skirmish, and it was at night time, and it was against a bunch of guys in orc masks, and it was like only 30 of us, and there was like 40 of them. It felt like, and I could just see them silhouetted against like the sunset, and then it was just like me and a bunch of orcs, and then that was it. I was in, and I was screaming for real. I didn't have to like pretend or anything. I was like, please get out of the way. This guy's down. What are you doing? Why is the line split? Like, where is the shield? We were supposed to be here, and I was like, oh, this is it. I'm in it. It was so cool. And I never felt anything like that in like D&D or anything. Like it was always either me staring at four other guys across the table or me staring at some computer screen, and we're all just imagining this in our heads.
Yeah.
And while that was fun as hell and really cool, I never got that adrenaline rush of like, holy crap, like they said this was an honor fight and no one was going to get killed, and I just saw this orc stab this girl in the throat. Let's kill him. Let's actually kill him. Let's make sure he doesn't get back. Which was cool to feel.
Yeah, that's really impressive. So hi Batman, who is the Thane of Phoenix Guild, Uhtred.
Oh, Uhtred.
And we've also got the Atomic Chicken, Go Buck.
Oh yeah, my character's called Buck, by the way.
So it's Jazz has said it does kind of feel like being in a real D&D game. You're a Steiner, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
You need to. I'll have to send you a link to Jazz's Etsy page, because the jewelry that she does, it's cheap, but it's amazing. It's mwah. Her and Zara's Etsy pages, to be honest, they would suit you perfectly. I think for little bits and bobs for a Steiner. Yeah, absolutely outstanding.
I'm in the market for some jewelry. I have a friend who's an archaeologist, and which is a great friend to have, and she crafted me. She crafted me some. She found some amber. She found some amber in some dig she was on, and she made it into a little necklace for me, and then put some sigils that they found in Yorkshire dig sites, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And she made me a little necklace out of that, and that is a treasured possession. But I do want to add maybe some rings, another necklace or two.
Yeah, there's a guy who I know in he monsters. He's an archaeologist as well. He's involved in more the selling of the stuff to collectors and stuff like that. And
Oh, cool.
he promised me a shark's tooth.
Ooh.
I'm still waiting. I love sharks, so sharks are my bag. I
Mm.
really adore them. They are the cutest things on this planet by a mile.
I think sharks are my least favorite animal.
I mean, after that, if you go for things that aren't real, I reckon. I mean, I suppose the big sign would be the alien from Aliens, and all that lot. They are my favourite creature in anything. I absolutely
Hmm.
adore. They are adorable in
Yeah.
my eyes. So obviously, just a bit weird in that front.
Mm.
Zara's just said they'll have to send you their link to their Instagram as well because they put everything up on that. Zara's stuff is fantastic.
Sweet.
Um, Hi Neb, thanks for gifted. Thanks for everybody who's gifted subs as well. Xeno scum. Thank you, Debbie. Um, that's really cool because I think when a lot of people say a very similar sort of thing, that they turn up with all these like ideas about what it's going to be like, and they say, "Oh, I'm going to struggle to get stuck in. I might struggle a little bit to get immersed into this world," and and then they're saying things like, "Oh, I love playing D&D or Vampire or Werewolf or something like. I love playing tabletop games and all of
Mm.
that." And then you get involved in a battle, and I think the best one was where they said, "Oh yeah, my in character friend got stabbed up like 20 feet away from me, and I just started shouting, and then me and a load of us we went running over, and we stabbed up all these orcs, and we picked them all up, and said the emotion was real."
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, ah, yes, you're now a LARPer. Congratulations, well done,
Yeah.
well done on that front. It's
Like I've run into a few people before the battle or like before the skirmish, and we did like I joined a spar, and we just had like one-handed swords, and we were just kind of fencing almost. I was like, okay, if the battles are like this, then this will be probably pretty fun.
mm,
But I wasn't anticipating. 'Cause I was when we talk about the battles, or when I watch other people talk about the battles, I'm imagining this big like cinematic thing where the people on the orcs are like getting stabbed and like falling over dramatically, and people are kind of opening themselves up to be hit just because it's fun to do that and it's fun to be cinematic about it. I was not expecting there to be so much try hardness in the fight. Like, it makes sense now that I've been in one, but you want to stay alive, you want to keep your friends alive, you want to complete the objective because it has otherworldly consequences.
mm.
But my first battle, I was running in like Aragorn with one sword, no shield, no nothing, no armor even. I was just having my battle poncho on, and I was like, "This is gonna be fun as hell." And then this guy's like using all these techniques and moves on me as I've run up to him, and like he's attacking with his shield and his sword at the same time, so he's covered from all angles. And I'm like, "Holy shit, this is gonna be, this is a lot. This is hard. I actually have to be skilled at fighting. I have to have some sort of technique in me. I can't just run in and like when I was a kid and like run up and stab, my dad and he would fall over dramatically for me.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Well, you can. You can. There's lots of different ways of doing it, and I suppose it depends on what calls you've got as well.
Mm.
So, whereas like for my character who's got more hits than sense and can call shatter with his
Mm.
weapons. So when people start doing all this fancy shit in front of me, and then I shatter their shield, and they just look a bit disappointed because you're then wailing on them and they're dead.
Yeah.
Or it's like they start doing all this fancy stuff with their spears, which is hilarious to watch because you're just like, okay, well done, shatter, and they're like, and then you start hacking them to pieces, and it's wonderful. It's a really good love a good shatter. See, I like Batman already. Um, it's a really wonderful thing to see because everybody does things differently. So I've seen people who so I did. This was before COVID. I went off into a fight with a skirmish with a couple of U.S. Marines who had flown over from Germany,
Oh.
and I was giving them some advice saying just get stuck in and all of this sort of stuff. And then when the orcs charged the Navarre line and they hit it hard, they did not know how to respond. They literally froze.
Oh my god.
They just froze. They didn't know what to do. And then it was it's like then actually having me like dragging them and throwing them towards the orcs, saying, "Come on, we got to get stuck in." Then it's sort of like it's when you hit someone for the first time, that was when it started to, oh, I'm allowed to hit these people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and stuff like that. And then they get stuck in, and it was really, it's a lot of fun. It's just fun, and that's really really good to hear. So I did that on my first event, first skirmish. Sword, no armor, nearly went down, but got out alive. Went through the Domiro, who came out, helped me, got cut off and killed. So also went well for me. Yes. E1 Sunday Battle was just wondering why everyone was getting cleaves around me, getting concerned. I was running out of herbs for it. Yeah, Hayden was one of my group's medics. So where did Empire all start for you then? So because obviously you do a lot of D&D stuff, tabletop stuff,
Yeah.
on the side. So is LARP something that you hear about and you've watched through like grown ups and stuff like that, with people going fireball and
Well,
all of that sort of
yeah.
crap, or in the big
Obviously,
boffer sticks and stuff? Was that your
yeah.
first experience of it, or?
Obviously, my first ever exposure to it was lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, as probably most people's are. And then I was like, oh my god, these nerds! Look at them. And then years down the line, as it's probably the most common lab origin story there possibly is, there was a YouTube video on Mark Hume's his channel about three men go to a lab,
Yeah.
and they made it sound like it was the coolest thing ever. And after that, I was like, okay, yeah, I have to go at least once. And then I was gonna go in like February 2020. I made a decision to make 2020 my LARP year, and then that didn't go
Right.
very well. Um, and then so there was, what was the year is it now? 2023.
Yeah.
Like November, like 2022, I finally convinced a friend to come along with me.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you there. So, Zara's just put LARP in the best way I've ever had it described.
Mm.
LARP is like cricket. Silly terms, silly game, boring to watch, but once you're actually into it, it makes sense and the meetings aren't boring.
That's pretty accurate.
That's
Yeah,
perfect. And Tankstein says, Arsequeef for Prez.
you're right, Tank.
So, sorry, carry on. That
Um,
really tickled me, that did.
yeah, decided 2023 I'm going to finally go. Managed to convince a friend to come with me, and then
Yeah.
I joined Wintermark. He joined Brass Coast, and walked into Wintermark on the Friday, knowing as much as I could, but unfortunately the wiki is not a way for me to process information. Really,
No.
I can't just pass through pages and pages and stuff to learn like that. I have to be more involved. So I'd listen to like podcasts and like streams and as much YouTube videos as I could watch to finally get an idea of what I was getting myself in for. Um, Even then, like I'll probably sit here and try and explain it to people who haven't been, and I won't do anywhere near as job as it will just going and
Yeah.
seeing it for yourself. Because I listened to every podcast I could about people's first time
Mm.
to know that I'm not going to be like stood in the field with nothing to do and surrounded by people who, are way more involved in this. I'm just going to get lost. So I knew that that wasn't going to be the case because everyone said, if you're new here, just say I'm new to Anvil, and someone will tell you something to do or somewhere to go, or something to check out.
Mm.
Um, but I was basically treating my first time like I was like a tourist to the place.
Yeah.
So we spent Friday before time in just walking through everyone's camp, just seeing what's everyone's shindig, what everyone's like, different like aesthetics and the different vibes that people give off in their camps, and how it's fairly obvious when you stepped from Verushka to the League, or for instance, or something like that. Even though the divide is pretty small,
Mm.
the vibe change is very noticeable.
Yeah.
And then in character, throughout the weekend, I was like, okay, I have to spend 20 minutes in Navarre. I have to spend 20 minutes in the League just to experience it all. Like I'm a tourist in a new city.
Yeah. Yeah.
which was a really fun way to do it because I got to talk to, I think, someone from like every nation.
That's good.
And it was something I was really worried about was that everyone would be massively in character all the time. Like when time in happens, it's in character time, and when time out happens, it's out of character time. You can finally talk about other things. Um, and I was like, I don't know if I have the stamina or the attention span to put up with that.
No.
But it wasn't that case at all because I ran into some people on Friday. Me and my friend walked up to a big field where a lot of people were gathering. We're like, we should probably go see what they're up to. Walked through these big stones that we didn't know what they were, and there was people in the field like running into each other. I'm like, oh, that looks fun. We walk over there and we see some people on the side watching. We're like, what's going on? I say, oh, that's the new player skirmish where everyone learns how to fight. Like, oh, we probably should have been in that then if that's what that is. Oops. But the people on the side were these guys called the Phoenix Guild in Wintermark, and they were like, do you have a guild or do you have a hall? I was like, no. Like, oh, just find us a time in and then we'll hang out. And that turned out to be an amazing decision because they were like 5 or 6 guys from Birmingham. Nottingham, not Birmingham. He was just like, it was just get on and like similar age, and they're very, very chill, very accepting, and just like completely engrossed me and everything like immediately.
Good,
which was huge.
Yeah, that's a massive thing to be part of, I think, and I'm glad that you found someone like that. So Phoenix Guild, well done, kudos to you lot, because you get a lot of new players in that field who, cause we've spoken about this already. I do want to touch on it because I think it paints a more realistic light on things as well to give both sides. So kudos to Phoenix Guild for doing that and actually helping new players and stuff, because I always say from the beginning that LARP is incredibly welcoming and it's incredibly friendly, and 99% of the time it really is, but you do obviously get that one interaction that doesn't quite go the right way, and people, it doesn't sit right with people. So when I say how good people are, Phoenix Guild are the perfect example of that. I'm not going to big up my own hall because I know my hall does it, so I don't need to say that they're great at doing all of this. But so Phoenix Guild, yeah, well done. I'll have a bottle of icy cider waiting for you as a little gift from me to you lot to say thanks for being part of the people who make LARPs are welcoming. So your Thane can. I would say I'd give it to Scott to bring over, but it probably won't make it.
No.
So yeah, come over and grab a bottle off of me at time in next event, and you can have a bottle of cider off me. So thank you for making the hobby great. So we're going to touch on a bit of a negative, I think, because Freaky Friar 500 bits. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Absolutely love it. It always makes me jump as well whenever I get bits. Just don't expect it. So a friend of yours turned up and went into the brass.
That's right.
Went into Brass Coast.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the greatest of experiences like you did. So
no, unfortunately not.
Do you want to tell? If you tell the story, then we can have
sure.
a chat about it.
So obviously, I just explained how I had a massively lucky encounter where I just walked into this Wintermark hall that were extremely open and welcoming to accept me in, even before like time in had happened.
Yeah.
And so it's just me and my friend. I went in Wintermark, he went in Brass Coast, which was just a decision we made a few weeks before we were going to go to the event, because he was looking through the nations and he thought Brass Coast looks cool. I'll go in that. I want to be like a pirate magician kind of guy. So I was like, okay, that sounds Brass Coasty, cool.
Yeah.
And I chose Wintermark because I heard that that's welcoming to new people and it's one of the biggest. So you won't be like you have to stand out too much if you don't want to, or you can like slip in. Just
yeah.
If you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous. and that appealed to me. So I was like, and the outfit was easier than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
So we went in two different nations, which looking back now was probably a mistake. We probably should have stuck together.
Hmm.
But so we timing happens 6 p.m. I go off to Wintermark, he's off to Brass Coast, and I get into loads of shenanigans. I do the new players thing with the Dunnings. I meet up with the Phoenix Guild, and then we go to the Orc camp to go on a skirmish with the Orcs. And so it's like 9:30 before I see my friend again,
Hmm.
and I just stumble into him in like in between some tents, basically. And he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Good to see you. And like we got to introduce ourselves in character, which I was really looking forward to. And then that happens, and he pulls me aside and he says, "Listen, I'm not really having a good time. This isn't really what I was expecting." I kind of he got really overwhelmed right at the start because, to my knowledge, at least, Brass Coast is a much smaller
Yeah.
nation, at least compared to Wintermark,
Yeah.
and a lot of people there take their like the lore and the brief, I guess, quite seriously, or that's the part of that's a part of the game they enjoy quite a lot is the brass coastness of it all. And we both went in pretty blind, like we made our characters together, just picking like the most popular options basically, and not really thinking that much about it. And we'll just figure it out when we turn up. And then he got, asked about his backstory, like on the spot, and didn't have a complete answer for the person, so they kept pushing, and
Hmm.
that's when he got kind of overwhelmed and like had to remove himself. So he said he's gonna get to Saturday morning and then he's gonna leave, which was really unfortunate because we both, you know, we came together. He drove like all the way down from the north
Yeah.
and then had to book up and leave in the morning on Saturday, which was a real shame. And I obviously tried to convince him that it's probably just a bad first impression. Where
Yeah.
we'll get you to switch nations. You can come out, we hang out with the Phoenix Guild and me, and you'll have some fun. But he was like, nah, it's probably just not for me. He's made his mind up, and I wasn't gonna, sit there
Yeah.
and beg for him to stay or anything.
Yeah. That's. I mean that does. So I mean there's um there's some interesting comments actually. So
I just want to preface. I don't want to say that Brass Coast. They probably didn't do anything wrong at all.
oh, Brass
Um,
Coast bunch of
yeah.
cunts.
No,
What the
okay.
fuck is wrong with them? I mean, Jesus Christ. No, I know. I mean, it's safe to say that if a lot of time, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen regardless of any nation you'd go
Yeah.
into. That there will always be one time where you are going to have a bad time,
Hmm.
but it's always about getting your way around it, having that support with you. So I mean, I mean, hindsight's always 2020. So
Yeah.
if like he came and found you earlier and just said, look,
Yeah.
I'm having a bit of shit time, I want to try something else.
Hmm.
Then, or I mean, if I'd known him or anything like that, he could have come up to me, and we could
Yeah.
have just gone, okay, fine, look, well, yeah, fuck that character off, chuck all this kit on, come and sit with us by the pub. You'll have a few drinks, get into character, and you'll have a laugh.
Hmm.
Just loads of things like that. As Zara said, solo is not easy. It's not impossible, but it's not. It isn't easy. I need to scroll back up because, geez, there's a lot of good comments here. So Pete, who is in the Brass Coast, he's done a wonderful job with his. I don't know, is it family? I think in Brass Coast. Um, and he's made a nice. He's got a nice tent. He's got more cushions than God,
Hmm.
and he's got a really nice setup there, and he's got really good people around him and stuff. So it's about in the introductions and things like that as well. Debbie Harry, sorry to hear he had a shit time in the coast. Most of us are really not like that. Jazz says I had a similar one at my E1 in Varushka. I changed to Brass Coast, and they're really welcoming. It really depends on the people you meet. There's always that one elite group in every nation that take it too far. I think that's the big thing. There's always the elite arseholes
Hmm.
out there who will go too far. It depends on who you meet, what you do. I played a solo character and it's bloody hard. The other player should not push the new player like that. That's the big thing. That's what I'm taking from it. They shouldn't have pushed like that. So the fault's not with your mate at all. Really,
No.
really isn't. And I'm not condoning violence against the other player, but I'm condoning violence against the player because that's a real dickish move. If I'm chatting, I mean, I've chatted to so many new players who are there for the first time, and they don't know how to respond when you ask them questions.
Mm.
I mean, when it comes to talking to me in character, I'm really out of left field half the time. Not when I'm recovering from surgery. So it's like when you met me in character, I was so subdued.
Mm.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But normally I'm so far out of left field that people don't know what they're going to get. So when I'm talking to them about like running after stars and fighting trees and stuff like that, they're just, we don't understand you. Are you playing the game?
Oh.
Things like that. So stuff like that. So it's about it's just about trying to make people comfortable, and you can tell when people are not understanding what you're talking about, and they should have reacted in kind and been a little bit more understanding, I think, is the best way to describe it. So Jazz says I had the same issue when I was solo. Mrs. Reby says that sucks, I suppose, about finding a group that you gel with. Sometimes something cursed about that tent. Everyone who lays on the cushions just seems to fall asleep. Thanks, Pete. Perfect Naga Palace. That's good. If in doubt, I'm afraid I'm new to Anvil and I'm still getting used to being here. Can I get back to you on that? Yeah, if they're still pretty, I mean, a lot of the time I would just say go away. It's like, yeah, I just don't want to talk to you anymore. So that helps as well. So
Yeah,
um,
I think the biggest mistake we made was just splitting up different nations when we could have just stayed together, and it'd been so much easier. Like even just having a a tent pole, a rock that you can go back to, that you know that your friend's going to be there, and you can say, "This guy just asked me to tell me his backstory. I don't know what to say," and it was really awkward. Instead of him being alone for like 3 or 4 hours, I think it ended up being. And it's unfortunate because I had the most chill Friday I could possibly get. Like
yeah,
everyone I met was super cool, super chill. I didn't get any. No one asked me. Someone barely asked me. I barely got asked my name. I said my name like once. Everyone else was just like, "This guy looks cool. This guy's got a cool poncho on. Let's get him in." And then that was it. I was sorted. So I think he got really unlucky in the first like hour, and then it was hard to come back from that.
yeah. It does happen, but I think it's the mental health thing as well. Where you slip, and you're in that funk, and it's going to take a lot to pull you out of it. So
Yeah,
because I always talk about getting into that funk, and I have to take myself away, but I know I'm in a safe space. And that whole field for me is a safe space, so I can just wander off and think, right, I'll just go and stand over here for an hour, and then I'll come back and I'll be all right. But if you don't know it's a safe space, if you're not comfortable, then it's going to be really difficult to get yourself out
yeah.
of it. So Beth said, I was literally heretical because of a slip of the tongue the first time I larped. Is that a car?
I think that's the brass coast coming in to take me out.
Ah, right, okay. I was talking to someone who was playing their character since E1 Year 1. He was lovely, brushed right past it, and I was only flustered for about 2 seconds because he responded perfectly. CJ, yeah, need to Anvil, honestly, the get out of jail free card. If they want to try the coast again, bring him over. We'll see if we can help. Tell him to get bent and walk off. Yeah, see, this is. I met you at E1 at my first event, and I felt I made a bad impression because I'm autistic and struggle with social interaction. What, me? Chicken? Oh, you have to tell. If that was me, please tell me if that was me. I'll be very. Well, two things to see if I remember it. I might have been really drunk. Yeah, me. Oh shit. Please tell me what happened, because yeah, if I made you feel uncomfortable, I am genuinely really sorry, because that's literally the opposite of who I am. Yeah, yeah. Please tell me what was our interaction. Um,
Yeah, my first interaction with you guys, or like your hall,
ooh,
like extremely positive. Like I think I just walked up to one of you and was like, "Do you know where I can gamble?" Um, and everyone was very helpful. I got shown 100 thrown piece for the first time. It was sick. Um, everyone will stand there and talk to you about whatever you want for to get you through the game.
yeah. So as Bolan just said, it's a fantastic hall, and Cal's there too, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I am the bad smell of our hall. It's
It was one of those bad smells that you want to smell again just to make sure it smells that bad.
definitely does smell that bad.
I think you're like petrol or like paint, like where some people like
Oh
really
yeah,
like the smell, some people really can't stand it.
I do like the smell of petrol.
I love petrol.
I love the smell of petrol. Oh dear, oh dear. Yes, that's the smell. Just don't lick it. Well, I'm pretty sure, Debbie, you have licked me already. Um, yeah, I have weird interactions with people. I wouldn't worry about it. I tend to overthink things and get anxious. I just didn't feel very included and welcome, but it's not on you. Ah, chicken, I am so sorry, buddy. Please come over and say hi, okay? Because everyone is welcome. I assure you, everyone is welcome. Over if you find you do overthink things, because that was one time.
Mhm.
Because I do the same. I overthink things. I get anxiety, and I do worry a lot. Yeah, just say, okay, because I've got no issues with stepping out of character to make people feel more comfortable. If I'm doing something wrong, I have to know, because the thought of me fucking up and making people uncomfortable really does one for me, and I don't want to be like that, and I don't want it to happen. So yeah, chicken, please come over and say hi, and yeah, let me know. Mate, okay, matey. I'm more than happy to chat to you about it. Um, was one time. Yeah, Debbie Harry has licked me. So yeah, he gives good hugs. I do give good hugs. So I forgot where I was going with that now. Just the thought of being licked
I
again is
think
thrilling.
I think Zara had a question earlier that I totally skipped past that I can't find now. So if Zara, when you ask that again, because
Uh,
I missed it.
just ask if I got any. So I got Panda and the wife in as mods. So if they could find, um, yeah, if they could find Zara's question for me. Oh
Oh,
no,
there she
there we
is.
go. In tabletop, you have a GM to guide the game. How did you find the total independence in LARP without a DM guiding it?
Wow, that was actually really fun. Like, not to be dick, but after my friend left, I did have total freedom now. Like, I don't have to come in and check with anyone or like make sure I'm back at the tent so he knows I'm safe. I can just do what I want. um,
Wow.
yeah, there's upsides. So yeah, I could just go into the Phoenix Guild whenever I wanted and see what they're up to, or I could there was a few hotspots I wanted to hit, like that I'd heard people talk about, like some of the bars or like the League Theatre. I really wanted to check out,
You
and
did? Did you not go?
I did go to the League Theatre. I have a story about the League Theatre that I'll tell in a
Ah,
bit.
yeah, 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 awesome.
Um, so like, and it's such a it's all very condensed. Like I can get to one side of the field in 20 minutes, or
Yeah.
vice versa, which is great. Or if I want to step out of the game because I'm like, I've had enough of book. I want to be Scott for a bit. I can just go get a hot dog,
Mm.
which is also an amazing feature. Because you can't really do that in D&D. Really, it's like you're stuck in this for 4 hours. Because we only get to play once a month because everyone's busy. So we've got to make the most of these 4 hours. You can't like stop and talk about like someone's dog for 15 minutes. Like we can do it LARP. So yeah, the independence is amazing. I I saw a sign like there's a Navarre raffle. Oh, I'll just go put some money on that. That's fine. I'll do that real quick.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't have to go to my DM and say this is the 5 things that I want to accomplish in. It's the things I want to accomplish in this day, and be very conscious to only take 15 minutes of his time because there's 4 other people at this table that I have to also be
Yeah.
conscious of, that they want to get their fun. And I think the immersion part of it that I most enjoyed was the fact that throughout the entire weekend, like the real world things that I worry about every day, or the pressures or anything like that, were I didn't even think about them all weekend. I'm big into football, and I like I like football, and it was a big moment in the season for football. I didn't even think about it all weekend, even though it was like dominating my life for the weekend before, which was insane. And all I worried about was how many crowns do I have in my pocket, and how much does a beer cost, and where the hell can I gamble all this money away? That was my
Yeah.
only concern all weekend. I didn't even think about real life at all. It didn't even exist outside of these little fences that were keeping anvil in. So for immersion, that's the best part of it for me. It was just like when I go on holiday in real life, I'm still thinking like, well, I can't spend too much money at this restaurant because I have to get back home,
Mm.
or things like that. But with thrones and crowns and rings, they can do whatever they want with them. It's amazing.
Yeah, as I just said, you can watch a Marcher foot the ball game.
I've not heard of foot the ball.
No, it's
No,
brilliant. It's absolutely brutal. I played it in the second year, I think it was. And yeah, running around. It's a mixture of football and rugby, but with weapons.
sick.
And it was great fun. Absolutely great fun to play.
I'm in on that.
Yeah, so especially when people go missing because they don't know where the goal is. So I remember finding one of the marchers who didn't know where the goal was, and they were just sat in the pub with the ball, and that was it.
That's a goal. That's a goal.
It was absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So, just trying to think, what was the? So was it Arsenal?
It was, yeah.
It was right. Okay.
Unfortunately. Well, let's not talk about that. This is a safe space.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, my mum's a gooner, so
hmm
made a throne and a half on those bets. Who knew the house doesn't always win? Thank you, Ryan.
All right,
Oh,
story about the house. So I spent most of Saturday.
yeah.
So Book, I saw Book, like my character Book. His one mission is to gamble his way from his starting money, which was like 18, no, like 2 crowns and 18 rings or something like that, to a 100 throne piece only by gambling. That's the character goal,
Okay.
or death, whatever
Well,
comes first. So I spent a lot of time Friday, a lot of time Saturday asking people where to gamble, where can I gamble, who's doing gambling, even if it's just like gambling on Glory Square fights or whatever.
hmm.
Um, and I found a lovely fella in Verushka who said that in Saturday night there's going to be a casino at the back of the League Theatre. So Saturday night I venture over to the League Theatre,
Hmm.
and the League at nighttime is amazing. Like everyone's in masks, there's cool lights everywhere, there's shows going on in the theatre. It's so cool. And then a little guy pops his head out of the theatre and is like, "Psst, are you looking to gamble?" I was like, hell yes. And he sneaks me behind the theatre into this back room, and this is like lovely dimly lit tent with like a full roulette table in the middle and like a
Hmm.
blackjack table to the side. And I was like, yes, this is what I'm in for. Let's do it. And then like me and the whole Phoenix Guild are in there, and me and my friend Conrad, we sit down at the blackjack table and we start playing blackjack, and we start doing really well. And the lovely Varushkan dealer is amazing, and we're having a really good time. And we're throwing rings are getting thrown everywhere. We're betting crowns. If I could bet a throw, I would, but there's like a limit. And we're winning loads of money.
Hmm.
And then we find out after we won all the money and we're about to leave, the dealer has been paying out 3-1 on every winning hand instead of 2-1, and you're only meant to pay out 3-1 when you get blackjack. So we've earned
Wow.
about we've earned a lot more money than we should have. And I felt really bad for the dealer because she was beforehand. She was like, "Oh, I'm really tired. I'm sorry. This is my first time dealing blackjack, so let's get through it together." And we had no idea how much of our money was from the 3-1 winnings, so we couldn't like give it back or anything. It was like, and then like the pit boss came over and was like, well, you can keep your winnings for tonight, but we're going to stop blackjack for now. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Wow.
So on that night we made out like bandits, and we were like, let's leave the league because we don't want to get assassinated for our 3-1 winnings that we got here.
Mm.
So we go back to the Phoenix Guild and start counting our winnings. And then I start to think, okay, Buck he wants to be a gambler. He wants to be known for being a gambler. He wants to have people come to him for gambling things. So I was like, well, I can't have my first ever experience with gambling at Anvil be that I kind of robbed the dealer blind and made out like a bandit with these like fake winnings, or like, I cheated them almost. Even though I didn't really know it was happening, but whatever. So I ended up going back to the league, going back to that tent where the casino was, and I got over the pit boss guy, and I got out my coin purse that I keep all my money in. I just poured all of it out. I put my hand down the middle and put like half to the side and half to the side, and said, "Okay, this is your half, and this is my half, because I can't keep this money and have a clear conscience and still want to gamble here. So you just have this, and I'll have this." And he was like, "That is very, very nice of you." And he gave me some weird wine that I'd never tried before. It was made like elderberries or gooseberries or whatever, which was lovely. So I did. I think I ended up. Because of that, I ended up down on the weekend. But if Buck's going to be a gambler, he can't be taking money off casinos like that. I got to earn it the right way.
This is true. I mean, as Bolam said, "Well done, you broke gambling," and then he said, "I'm taking that well done back now."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scott's taking the money and running, but
yeah, I was gonna say,
Buck has to go back.
yeah. It explains a conversation that I had as well on Saturday. So it's really weird how talking to people OC puts 2 points together as well, and you just don't realise. I mean, thankfully they've withdrawn it now.
Okay.
So they basically said someone had robbed the theatre to me.
Oh.
In character.
Oh.
Because of this, they said they took advantage of a new dealer.
Whoa.
And all of this, but this is how it was painted to me in character.
Yeah, go on.
So they said someone would take advantage of a new dealer, and they said when they know who it is next season, basically because they knew I was fucked. So they said next season, would you be able to deal with them? And I was just like, yeah. I was just like, yeah. Just point me at their group and I'll take them all out. Literally all of them. And they're just like, okay. They said, yeah, that's fine. We know who they are. It says we'll come back to you after the season. So they said they'll write me a letter with all the information on, and I was just like, okay, that's fine. We can do that. But they came to me on Sunday morning just saying it's all been sorted.
Oh my god!
I just didn't think anything, because I just thought, oh, I'll just get a little note passed to me at E2 on like the Friday or something saying these are the people, go and have a word.
No.
It happens a lot. It does happen a lot, because more often when I get asked to go and deal with people, it's because they're brand new players who have just done something dumb, and then I get to go along because I can be intimidating, and then walking into a group and not giving a shit about anybody or anything, and then just saying, yeah, give us everything you got. You won't survive otherwise. And just stuff. And you do. So yeah, the theatre did actually get robbed though.
Okay, well that wasn't me.
Cal would probably listen for 2 seconds, unlike Mac. Yeah, Mac wouldn't even listen. Everyone would just be dead. So
well, shit. Well, I saved a lot of lives then.
Well, how many are in that hole? Is it 6?
Like six, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 people. Yeah, that's right. Wintermark have got more.
Yeah.
But no, that's really cool though. I'm glad because you've had the interactions with all the gambling and you've got to know someone within that world now. And I know for a fact that person can point you elsewhere as well for higher stakes.
That's good.
As well, because you want to get 100 thrones quickly. You could literally bet everything you've got on a double or nothing, and there's another place out there that they will honor that and they will take it, and yeah, you could make 100 thrones within an hour if you win everything. It's a really good, yeah. So
Oh yeah,
as the
yeah,
traveling
all,
casino.
what was he called? He was called the no, not the Navarro, the Casino. It was some sort of pun with Casino and Navarre.
Yeah,
But it worked really well.
it really
Uh,
really did work.
yeah, he was the best. I was sat down at what was your hall called again?
Tillions and Plowshare. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, yeah, Timbits and Ploughing or whatever. We went where I was at that I
Yeah,
was at that hall and we were at that
yeah,
fire, and I was telling them this story about me rinsing the league and then giving it back.
yeah.
I give it back. I give it back to the league if you're listening. Okay, and then this guy comes up out of nowhere with this little tray on his chest with like lights hanging down it, and he says, "I'm a traveling casino. Would any of you like to gamble?" Which is just most perfect timing.
That's good.
He was the best, and he had loads of games. He had card games, dice games, and
Mm,
we played the Brucey bonus higher or lower
you
game.
did, yeah. I say we
Um,
did. You did.
I did, yeah, and I won that, which the validation I got off that was amazing. Yeah, that was great. That was such a beautiful moment.
That was really cool to watch. The guy did such a good job as well.
Yeah, he was a showman. He was fantastic.
He was very, very good. And I think I've never heard anybody. I've heard a lot of people who come in who want to gamble and stuff like that. But I've never heard anyone with like your idea of coming in with this is what I want to do in character.
Well, yeah, because my idea behind it was that I wanted. This is what I'm going to do. I know there's gambling somewhere. There's got to be. It's a field full of people. There's going to be gambling,
Yeah.
and my plan was that if I lost it all immediately, then I can go up to someone and say, "Hey, I just lost all my money in gambling. I need to make some money back. Make me do something. Like, what will you pay me to do?" And then that'll just create little jobs, little stories for me to get on with for the weekend to get my money back. Or I win all my money and I'm rich now. So either way, it works out.
So what's going to be your plan then if you get to the 100 thrones? If for some
Well,
reason you really strike it rich, you get lucky, and then
that's
you're there,
that's when
100 throne
I
coin.
that's when I start lobbying the priesthood to make fortune an official virtue and go down that route.
Ooh, that's interesting. Because, I mean, well, I suppose you got luck, fortune.
I was thinking about luck, but I think fortune is like a nicer. All the prosperity, all the values, all the
Yeah,
virtues have a nice words. I think
yeah,
fortune.
prosperity.
Yes, that's an execution. That's the plan. Because after I've hit my 100 thrones, it's game complete. Let's go out. Let's go out with a bang.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know a lot of people who do that. Who they want to go out with a bang
Hmm.
and things. Um, it seems to be the rarer one because it's like um, when you do the I want to go out with a bang, I want to get executed for something, and
Hmm.
that. But the rarer one seems to be the people who just say, I want to get all of this done, and then I want to just like say goodbye to people and just say I'm retiring, and I'm going to
Mm.
go back home and I'm going to live on the farm, and I'm going to work happily. That doesn't really happen that often. It's more
Oh,
people go, oh yeah, I want to go out and get executed for this. I want to go out in my own way in a battle, and all of these sorts of things. But I suppose it's down to what it's what everybody wants at the end of the day, what they enjoy. I think like my goal for Cal once I'm done with whatever I'm doing is I'm just going to retire. I'm going to go back to the I'm going to go back to the blacksmiths, and I'm going to just work the forge, and that'll be me done.
mm.
And then I'll come up with something really, really stupid as my next character. Well, even more stupid than what I've got at the moment. Um,
Yeah, that's the plan.
Priests hate
I think I'll
luck.
have a
I have no money.
I
Um,
think I'll have a pretty good case if I work my way up to 100 thrones just from gambling. But fortune is a virtue. Well, that's the plan anyway.
yeah, I mean, you could get gambling recognized as an official. I don't know, as an official job or something.
Sure.
An official pastime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
From what I've learned, all you have to do is pay the right people, and anything can happen.
yeah. Yeah. So if all of that goes well, then you've got your 100 thrones. You've been executed for heresy. Well, who's going to get the 100 thrones?
But I found out Book's very generous because after I won all my gambling winnings, I was tipping everyone. Like this guy in the league, there was like the festival, the Reapers Festival was going on.
Yeah.
This guy was saying, rent a mask for 5 rings. And I was like, oh, take some crowns. I'll keep the mask, or you keep the mask. Who cares? It all goes back into the pot. So the 100 thrones will probably go to whoever finds it. Whoever finds it on my body gets it. Who cares?
Oh, well, that's going to the militia then.
They
Yeah.
can have it. I've
No.
heard they need it.
No. It's well, I'm not. Yeah, I'll tell you what to do with that off stream because I don't need that officially coming back to bite me in the ass.
I'll give it to the Apothecary Guild. I heard they're good people.
No, really don't. So what's your next character then? Have you had a thought about that at all?
Not all.
No.
I've been to one event with Book, and I plan on going to at least a couple more. Um, and my little tourism trip taught me a lot about what each nation would be
Yeah,
fun for me, what each nation would I wouldn't click with as well. Um, Not going to mention any names.
that's fine. No, do it because I think everyone has got their own preconceived ideas about what all the nations are like and what
True,
they
true.
like, what they don't like, and stuff. So yeah,
Wittenmark was a very good fit for me, for sure.
yeah,
Um, like the Dunnings were like the Phoenix Guild camp is right next to the Dunnings.
yeah.
Everyone I met in the Dunnings is super chill. Like Sunday of Battle was our in character battle,
Mm.
and I was gonna go in there with my one-handed sword and my battle poncho and my 2 hit points, and that's it. And I was like, from what I've learned in my previous battles, that's not going to work out too well for me.
No.
So I went over to Dunnings and said, "Do you have any like a giant? Can I borrow a shield, for instance?" And they were like, "Yeah, here you go." And he just threw a shield at me. And then they were like, "Do you know how to use it?" And I was like, "Just put it in front of the thing that's going to hit you." I was like, "No, come here and we'll show you how to actually use it." And
Mm.
they gave me like a full like, "You just opened a new game and this is a tutorial mission on how to use a
Yeah.
shield thing." It was really cool. And then they said, "Is that all you're wearing to the battle?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it's just me and my battle poncho. And I said, "Okay, come over here. This guy's got some chainmail that you can wear." So they gave me some chainmail to wear as well, which is awesome because I'm like 6 hit points or something crazy, which was so cool. And then they put a Dunning red shirt over me. So they said, "Well, if you go down, then we'll know to get you up because we'll see the red,"
Right. Okay.
which worked out fantastically all the way up to the battle. And then in the battle, because we were fighting the Jotun.
The Jotun. Yeah.
Yes, we find the Jotun. They're just guys in armor as well. Some guy comes up to me, also in a red shirt, and said, "How'd you get that red shirt and that shield?" And I said, "I think one of your own gave it to me." And he said, "Are you sure you're not a Jotun?" And because of the stuff going on, I didn't really hear him that well. I just heard Jotun, so I just said Jotun back to him with a question mark, like Jotun. So then he thought I was saying I am a Jotun. So then he starts trying to kill me. I'm like, "Dude, I'm on your side. I'm on your side." And then eventually he realizes what's going on. But do you know the guy in the Dunnings who's got like a big beard and he carries around the flag
Yeah.
and he that guy? Suddenly I feel something to my throat in a moment of silence in the battle, and it's a knife. And I hear a voice in my ear say, "How the fuck did you get that armor and that shield?" And I said, "One of your own gave it to me. Please don't kill me." And then he basically threw me away and said, "All right, you're fine." But the Dunnings saved my life, and then they almost killed me.
Yeah. Yeah. What's a little bit of execution between friends?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone's had those sorts of runnings with the Dunnings. Yeah. It's one of those things. I mean, I get on with Ailson really well. So Chris is a really good guy. OC Ailson, yeah, bit of a prick. But he has his moments, sort of like everyone does. But he can be nice as well.
I thought they were
Um,
all great. They were a lot of fun to be around. But for my first time, they're like when you imagine like the people at Lab who take the battle seriously and they have like a big like
yes, yeah,
I don't want to say the V word, but they have a Viking tent kind of thing going on.
yep, yep, they do.
It's like it's super cool.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
As a spectacle.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff together. They do a lot of fighting together away from Empire as well. So they are just one big unit. They are really, really good.
Hmm.
We've made friends with a few of their group now. I was meant to go over and see one of them with drinks last time, but yeah, I was too tired. I was knackered. I wouldn't have
Mm.
made it. So I'm planning on doing it this time round. So yeah, they are a lot of good people
Yeah, and
within there as well.
speaking of the in character battle, the in character battle was massively intense.
Mm,
Like I went on I was the baddies on the Saturday,
yeah,
and that was kind of like it was kind of chill because the battle was like get through the goodies had to get through this bridge. There was like a massive choke point, so I just spent half an hour just standing watching people run into each other at this bridge,
mm,
just waiting for something to happen. And then got killed like 4 times over and kept respawning.
yeah.
Realized that the battle poncho is not as well suited to battle in thorn bushes because it very easily gets caught on things.
Yes.
Um, so learned that in the in the Sunday battle, and the Sunday battle was I think we just had to protect a certain area. So
Mm,
we were in a ring style shape, trying to protect it from the baddies.
yeah.
And that was super intense because it never stopped. It was always something was happening somewhere, and you had to get over there and help. Um, and there was like, and it's the Jotun as well, so you can see what when everyone's in the orc mass. It's really hard to tell where they're looking or what's going on. When it's against the Jotun, everyone's like proper into it, and then out of nowhere, some like crazy bitch with a flail just starts swinging it around people's heads. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die to this woman with a flail. It's gonna be so
Mm.
embarrassing. Um,
Flails are great.
that was scary. And I get cleaved. I'm on the floor, and I'm fighting for my life. And then I go down, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to count. I have to I have to start counting. I guess I'm lying up against this tree. I'm like, oh, well, this is it then. I'm gonna get run over, and that's it for book. I'm gonna have to come back next time with some other fucker with another addiction to some sort of some bad thing. Um,
I'm just gonna say drugs are
yeah,
perfectly viable. Uh,
yeah.
but
Um, so yeah, that was it's so intense. Like
mm,
my heart was racing the entire time. Uh, it was just an amazing, amazing time. The Sunday battle. I can't wait to do it again.
yeah, because your Hall are a bunch of mercenaries, aren't they?
That's right. A bunch of mercs. They went on. At least from what I saw, they attempted to go on pretty much every skirmish that was available.
Mm,
So they like a fight.
yeah. So I'm hiring because it was 3 crowns a head, wasn't it?
And the accountant will handle it.
Yeah. So I'm looking at hiring you all for next event, so you
Oh
can
yeah.
actually get some stuff done, and I think Bolan will be very interested to know that there is no contract written down for this.
Oh no, we don't do that shit. We're not the league.
So I just feel sorry for. You could try Cat Piss. Cat Piss was really nice. Cat Piss was absolutely wonderful. We're gonna have two
I heard
party.
good things.
Cat Piss was lovely.
Mm.
It's yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
Brasco's bollocks.
yeah. But well, no, I mean the league do contracts as well because they have to do things like that for like mercenary banners and things. So
Oh, okay.
don't talk to me about cat piss. Cat's piss. Did you get drunk on it, Beth? Probably. Um, yeah, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. No, yeah. So we got the. So you're going to come and fight with us, and then I just feel sorry for whoever has to. Well, no. To be honest, none of you will probably be asked to come and fight with me
No, we'll
because.
come. We'll try.
Okay.
I won't promise we'll keep up, but we'll try.
Well, we have. Yeah, we'll have to have a big hall chat about it all because we got healers and stuff like that who definitely need protecting. We got our heavy.
Okay.
We got 2 heavy healers who have probably got more hits than you.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So,
Without a doubt.
um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. I'm looking forward to being able to go off and have a scrap next event.
Hell yeah.
I'm chomping at the bit for it. I can't wait. I've got one new weapon that I've bought. So I'm using a sword for the first time ever in character.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like swords. So, but I saw this one, I just really liked it, and it was nice and weighty. It's got a nice weight to it.
Nice.
So I thought, why not? And Pete is gonna make. He's gonna make me a axe for hopefully for E3. So a one-handed Leviathan axe that looks like it's been made by a child.
Oh, lovely.
That's generally my go-to on anything that I want built or made for me. It needs to look like it's been made by a child. So
Great.
it's a lot of fun. So yeah, one of our heavy healers, Hayden, he's on 15 hits.
Jesus.
So so
Right.
we're pretty good in that. He's he's the healer who comes running around with me.
Okay.
So because I'm hoping to be on 30 this event.
Can I borrow some?
So well, to be honest, if you're coming over to us, if you can bring potions and stuff, herbs and stuff, then
Oh yeah.
we can get you potioned up, no problem.
Oh, cool.
So,
Cool.
but this is an in-character chat that we need to have.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, 30. There's a lot to it, and I always forget it, Zara. There is a lot to it. But yeah, the chaos fruit helps. Let's put it that way. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Pete said, so seeming like you had a really good first event, but is there anything you're still unsure of or any questions you still have? There are no silly questions, he says.
Good one. Oh yeah. Dawn is weird. I have lots of questions about Dawn. I
Dawn
was
are weird.
Yeah, like I went over there and there was something going on in the Glory Square. I was like, ooh, people are gonna fight, this would be cool. And then they started fighting and it became very clear that one team was going to win, supposed to win, and it was just
Right.
like show. And I was like, well, this is probably really cool to some people, but let's go somewhere else. But the whole vibe is like obviously it's very different from Wittenmark and everywhere else around there. Um, and oh my god! And when I was a monster, I was playing my part, and I was like trying to hit people, and I was like getting into it a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I saw some fucker with a golden flower crown. I was like, that bastard has to die. He needs to go down. How dare he come into this field with a golden flower crown and not expect to get whacked? So that was the only time I actually ran in suicidally to try and take someone down.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love
Yep.
those. That's a great way to be. Yeah, but Dawn are fucking weird. They really are. But the best thing best way to describe Dawn, I think, is when you see some weird things going on, just ask them, because a lot of the times, I'd say 70% of the time they're fine with it, and
Yeah.
even if they're not fine with it, I just keep pushing and
Mm.
asking the questions because why not? So yeah, just ask. Because a lot of the
Mm.
times, they're LARPers as well. At the end of the day, LARPers love to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about themselves.
yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. It's the Festival of Remembrance, probably.
Yeah, the baddies were like in like funeral garbs. That's it seems like that was what was going on.
Yeah, Dawn are
But yeah,
love, glory, and virtue on the side. Yeah, this is true. Dawn are heretical as a nation because it's all about love and glory. So
oh, we might get on.
yeah, it's
But yeah, one of the best things about just being there is that anytime I had a question that was either out of character, in character, whatever, no matter who was stood next to me, I could ask them and they would explain. Oh, what happens when you get cleaved? What happens when you get shattered? If I go down to this many hit points, can I, when I get healed, do I go back to full or whatever? Any battle question, any in-universe question, everyone was like, "This is how it works," and then I'm on board.
yeah,
Um, Everyone was so helpful.
yeah. It's a really wonderful. It's just such a nice game. It's such a nice hobby to be involved in.
Mm.
So it's any time you have a question about anything, no matter the situation. There's normally a ref next to you,
Mm.
a monster who's just put you down.
Yeah.
And cause I know last year because I wear plate, I'd completely forgotten what Impale did. Well, I
Yeah.
knew what it did, but I didn't know the effect if it hit you in the head.
Oh.
And so I had one of the refs who was just stood there while I'm lying on the floor, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, 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 it's just one hit. So if it's hit you in the head, yeah, don't worry about it." And then other refs were going, "No, no, no, he's in cap, he's down, he should be bleeding out." And then they had an argument about it, and I just got
Mm.
up and walked off. So, um, so Zara's asked, "Will you take anything from LARP into your D&D games?"
It's a good question.
Mm.
I haven't played D&D in a while now.
No?
I've been fully lapped up, kind of exiting D&D sphere and rebranding as a LARP tuber.
Fucking LARP tubers, we're everywhere.
Ruining the game.
Really are
But yeah,
ruining the game.
if I was still regularly running D&D, I would even just like fiction from Empire, from the Empire verse.
Mm.
Going into it, I didn't really know much about it because wiki reading problems, but
Yeah.
there's some cool stuff in there. Like the politics, I just like barely started to learn about, and there's some really dope stuff that's going on.
Mm.
I like the drug game, and how that's been playing out, or even just like
Drugs.
the way the different nations have how they treat themselves at like nighttime, like what's going on, like the Navarre and the story circle. It's all very applicable to D&D, and
Yeah.
it's there's so much cross referencing that you can do.
Yep.
I mean, it's a very well maintained and well realized world from what
Yeah.
I've interacted with in Empire. So that's what you want in D&D too.
Yeah. LARP tuber equals luba. God, dear, oh dear. Thank you, Pete. Sorry for so many questions. Zara, don't worry.
No, it's
Ask
fine.
as
Please,
many questions as you want.
I'm an open book.
I would say I'm an open book, but I'd have to read a book first. It's, but yeah, it is a. I think there's so much more crossover between tabletop and LARP. I was expecting there to be a lot more than what there
Mm,
was. So it's like I keep poking people on Twitter about things. So there's like so I really struggle to watch tabletop on
mhm,
YouTube and Twitch and things like that. I really struggle with it because I don't have the patience for
mm,
it. So it's like podcasts. I really struggle with podcasts. I can't listen to podcasts at all. I think the only ones that um, I've been able to get along with is the Auntie Donna podcast, mainly because it's hilarious. Do you know who
all
Auntie
right.
Donna are?
No, I've not heard.
So they're an Australian comedy trio,
Hmm.
and they've got a series on Netflix which is really out there, but it's really funny. And they've also got a podcast on Spotify,
Yeah.
and I could put it on in the background, 40 minutes, and it's just really really funny. They have done there's a little video of them playing D&D.
Hmm.
I'm not going to repeat what is they talk about on it or
Right.
how it goes because it is offensive. It is
Good to know.
offensive. I mean, but it's fun. It is quite funny as well. So I think anyone out there who's watching who is interested, do Auntie Donna D&D, and that's it. They talk about owl bears a lot in it as well because why the hell not?
Yeah.
It's just funny. It's just worth watching. But I was having a chat with one of their group because he is massively into D&D
Mm.
as well. He plays it weekly and all of this sort of stuff. Yeah, as the wife just said, owl bears. Yes, we don't come here for this, Mark. We come for owl bears. Sorry. Um, so yeah, so well worth watching. But I was talking to because I'm in his Discord, and I was having a conversation with him about LARP because in Australia they've got Concord LARP, which is the Australian equivalent of Empire, basically,
Right.
and it is absolutely brilliant. It's really, really good, and I'm not just saying it because I had a chat with one of the guys about it on Friday on the stream either. It is really, really good. But he was saying basically that no, D&D is enough because LARP has this elitist stuff behind it in Australia.
Oh, right.
And I was just like, that's really weird. I've
Mm.
never heard of that. But I suppose in a way I can see it, I guess. But then again, you see all the dramas that happen online with D&D and stuff at the moment. That is, well, with tabletop roleplay at the moment, which is
Hmm.
insanely elitist.
Oh, yeah.
And that, so I just put it down to any hobby whatsoever, and then I probably realised that, oh my god, it's like football hooligans but in nerd form, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
you've got your Arsenal fans over there, your Tottenham fans over there, so you've got your D&D, you've got your Pathfinder, you've got your World of Darkness, Vampire World, you've got all of these sorts of people over there, just different. They just support different teams, and they hate each other accordingly.
Yeah. 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 Every
God.
niche hobby that I've ever got into has had the notes of the song are the same in every one of like we were into it before it was cool, or we liked the team before they were good.
Yeah.
Um, they're all playing the same notes and all making the same mistakes that they'll never learn from.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say I was into LARP before everyone else because I wasn't. Because LARP's been going since the '80s,
Hmm.
and yeah, I'm not one of the. I mean, I'm just an old man who LARPs now. So I mean, I'm 42, and I love my hobby. Well,
Mm.
obviously, I love my hobby because I do all this. But I think my biggest thing is I just want everyone to get on.
That'd be
That's
nice.
It would be lovely,
Yeah.
and because I know I was like we had a chat before because I was saying I was getting threats off of people, yeah, just a bunch of dickheads, and it's just I just don't see the point in it. It's like it's a hobby we want everyone to be involved in. We want to say to everybody how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Um, People haven't evolved out of wanting to be in their own tribal groups yet.
That's right.
Yeah, LARP needs OC friendship, IC conflict. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
that
I got the most vile, hateful like messages just for making gifs of D&D show. Like probably the most harmless thing you can probably do on the internet.
yeah,
And people took that extremely offensively or whatever. So it's going to happen no matter what you do.
yeah. It's it's sad. It is sad. So I mean, that's a pretty yeah. I don't want to end on a low note there.
Yeah.
Let's find something. Um,
I
find something.
like I like Zara's question there.
Which one?
How do you find being limited by your hard skills, like your mind and your body, rather than D&D stats?
That's a really good question. Hard
Yeah,
skills are very important in LARP.
because when I was first thinking about LARP, I was like, I'm going to be an archer, and I'm going to be the guy on the field that's headshotting everyone. And I was like, I've never held a bow. I don't know where do I get arrows from? Well, I don't know any of this stuff. Like in D&D, I can just be that. I can just be a dwarf who can do backflips. I can't do that in real life. You know,
Yeah.
um, even I'm held back by not even my hard limits, but my hard wallet. Like I can't afford plate armor, so I'm gonna have to run in there with my battle poncho, and hopefully I can pick up a shield that someone's dropped.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah.
is a whole different challenge. But it's like and charisma. I can't just go up to someone and say I negotiate with this person like some people would do in D&D. I have to actually negotiate with this person and try and get a good deal. Or I actually have to gamble and use my wits. I can't just roll an intelligence roll to see how good my hand is.
Yeah.
And but it really it forced me to push myself and get outside my comfort zone and just like walk up to people and say, "Hey, do you know where I can gamble?" It starts a conversation that
Hmm.
leads into somewhere else and says like, "Well, I heard the League are into that. Okay, why are the League into that? Because they like money. Okay, does no one else like money? Why are the League notable for liking money? And then we talk about that for 5 minutes, and it's a relationship.
Yeah, the ability to start a conversation is one of the most OP things at LARP.
Oh yeah, big time.
Being able to talk to someone. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I can go up to anybody and just have a chat. Don't care who they are. I will go up to people, even if they're in big important meetings. I will go up to anybody and start a conversation with them, even if the end result is me being told where to go.
Hmm.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I think it's one of the best things about LARP is that you meet some amazing people, and I'm truly blessed with doing all of this because there's a Discord behind me with over 700 people on it who are all LARPers, and they all want the same thing, and they all love the same hobby, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place. And then coming on Twitch and raising money to help people out as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and we're all slightly insane. This is very true, Zara. This is very, very true. Charisma is not a dump stat at LARP.
No, yeah,
Okay.
charisma is OP. No one cares how many cartwheels you can do, but if you can talk to every nation and every person on the field, then
Yeah, and as Pete says, they're all obsessed with socks. This is true. This is. Fuck me, I hate socks. I have nightmares about socks sometimes. It's yeah. If you ever have a nightmare being chased by a 20-foot sock, then it's just yeah. You know something's gone wrong. It's But yeah, I'm. So what are your goals then? For fuck's sake, Bale, shut up! My God, Momo Self makes the Yeti sock puppet.
that'd be cute.
Oh, Steve has expertise in intimidate. No, not when it comes to socks. I don't. I hate socks. I hate socks. So E2 is what 2.5 weeks away.
Oh my god, I bought my ticket last night. Literally the deadline for I think the early bird. So I'm
Yeah,
definitely going.
yeah. So did I as well, actually.
Oh, that's what I want to know. E2, I haven't sorted this out yet. E2, E1, I got the train, and it was a bloody nightmare. As Steve helped me out massively on the way back because
Mm.
I had a lot of stuff to take back since my friend had ditched me with the tent. So Steve helped me out massively, managed to help me get my stuff back to Bristol for me, along with a few other people. So big shout out. But I don't want to take the train again. So if anyone knows anyone in Bristol who's driving, please direct them towards me if they have a spare seat. I've reached out in some other places, but I'm putting it out on the megaphone here. Goal for E2 number one is to is to drive there and not take the bloody train.
Yeah, we'll put something into the Discord as well. See if anyone's
Thank you, Yeti fan.
see if anyone's about, and then see if anyone can do anything. Um, yeah, I can. I think I know a few people. I might be able to ask someone with a van again, see if they can take your stuff
I will sit in the back and be quiet if that's what's needed.
as well. I'll see if they can do that
But
for
other
you.
goals is that E2 I want to. I feel like I know what book is now, and I've got a good grasp on
Yeah,
the kind of person that I want to be in the game.
yeah,
So now I really want to help the Phoenix Guild increase their business, their notoriety, get a bit of name around there, and then rising tides, all ships, all etc. etc.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Once you've got an idea of what you want to do and where you want to, a rough idea that you want to move into, it all makes the events get a little bit easier
Yeah.
because you go into the field at least with one idea of I want to do this and I want to do this.
Mhm.
So that makes LARP a lot easier in that
Yeah.
thing. It's when you've been going for years and then you go right. I'm not planning anything for this event because you know stuff will just happen and then
Yeah.
you have to react and deal with it. That's when your character's been there for a little while and stuff like that. So, what are your plans for E2? Ignore the gambling.
Oh,
We
come
all know
on,
about the
dude.
gambling. We know about the gambling.
I want to make relationships. I want to get book these more friends like outside Wintermark, even inside Wintermark.
Mm,
You know, I want to have a I want to be known. I want people to be able to come, like, oh, I know a guy who's into that book has some of that or something like that. You know, I want to have
Yeah.
a little raise the fame meter a little bit at least, so just a name that people know.
Yeah. So is there anything specific at Empire you want to try?
But I haven't tried yet. It's a good point.
Mm.
Um, I haven't done any politics or any religion, but I don't think it's my time yet
Okay.
for that kind of stuff. Um, like the big plot areas of the game is not something that is spoken to me yet. Like I'm more than happy if I have to. I'm more than happy to just go sit in my poncho and drink around a fire with this weird homebrewed stuff that people make, or go on a bar crawl from Wintermark to League and back. I'm more than perfectly happy doing that because it's fun as hell.
Mm.
Um, but once something in the plot or something hits me, I'll jump in it like like there's no tomorrow, and then take that to wherever it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea. It's you'll hear one little bit of information, and then yeah, it'll hit the sweet spot, and then you can
Yeah,
go running face first into it. That's what I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love being the sidekick on someone else's mission. Like if someone else has got a quest, or if someone from Dawn wants to win a maiden's hand or whatever, and they need help doing that, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to be. You don't always have to be the hero.
No.
It's always you can get through the game being a background character for someone as well,
Hell yeah.
and yeah, I do enjoy doing that, pushing other people into to do things. I made the decision that there's a lot of people in positions at the moment in the field who have been in that role for 5-6 years now, and I think let's give some new players a go. Senator, general. It's like, come on, give someone else a chance. Let someone else have that play that game.
Hmm.
So I just think it's a good place to be. If you go to fight in the battles, etc., you can always have an opinion about the like where and why we fight there or not, and against who. Leads into a whole load of conversations and influencing your choices. Yeah, shout at a general as well. Tell them what they're doing wrong. They love that.
Cool.
I live for that. So, so you're looking forward to E2 then?
Oh, massively. Like it I have a 45 minutes commute to work, like on the bike, and I that's it's like half an hour every day. That's all I'm thinking about is like, what do I want to do? What do I want to wear? What do I want to look like?
Mm.
You know, um, who do I want to piss off? Who do I want to make friends with?
Yeah, yeah.
When I got back, that's all. Like I got home, and like for the first 3 hours, I didn't think about anything because I was incapable of thought. But then as soon as I could think again, I was like, right, when's E2? When we're going back? Let's go. Who am I going to fight? Am I going to get a new sword? Am I going to get a lance? Am I going to get a spear? Because fuck spears, it's too long. I can't
Mm.
get anywhere close to anyone who's holding a spear. It's a very encompassing hobby. Even though
It really is.
it's only a weekend every few months or whatever, it does somehow encompass the rest of your life.
It's because you're literally throwing yourself face first into your character. You are your character. So it's in essence a lot of this isn't happening to your character. It's happening to you.
Yeah,
So it
it's something I never thought with D&D. Like as soon as D&D session's over, I'm like, okay, I can't wait till next week, and I didn't think about it again.
yeah. See I love roleplay. I love tabletop games. Uh, I play them so rarely now,
Mm,
because getting a group of people together to play a tabletop game
impossible.
so difficult,
Yeah.
so difficult to do. So like getting a load of people to play Aliens for the Make a Wish Foundation thing that I did, really difficult,
Yeah.
really difficult in the end. But it was a lot of fun, and I love tabletop. And I think the only time I've been able to plan anything is for Alien RPG. When I know, Pete, I know, but it's like herding cats, mate. It really is.
Mm,
Um, I just I've there's a new werewolf game, so version
ooh,
5 Werewolf the Apocalypse is being released in August,
Hmm.
and I've written out a little story for that I want to run, and I can only just start getting that prepared because I know giving people 3 months notice might be
Hmm.
enough time.
Yep.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't know on that front, but it's really really difficult. But it doesn't have the same effect as LARP.
No.
You can have a great session around the table with everyone and stuff, and they all talk about going, "Oh, I like this. I loved this. This was interesting." You go, "I knew that was going to happen. I knew this person was that." And then 20 minutes later, when you've had a beer, it's like, "So yeah, so what are you going to do at LARP? So what's going
Yep.
on in you at LARP?" It's like, yeah, it just takes over. It
Yeah.
just takes over, and it's great. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world. I really
Yeah.
wouldn't. I've got a great D&D group that's been stable for 2 years or so. I'm so lucky. I've never played. I played D&D once. I've never played it after that, and that was like 11 years ago.
All right.
Yeah, and I played it once. I played a large character who had a tower shield, and his whole personality was built around the fact that it was a dwarf's front door. So when he ran, it knocked. That was it. That was my entire concept for a character.
That's all you need. That's a great character.
That was That was all I
I mean,
needed.
it's memorable if you remember it 11 years on.
Oh, I really enjoyed it, and I was
Yeah.
trying to steal a dragon's egg so I could raise it and become its mum.
Mm.
That was literally all I wanted to do, and yeah, and then the group just fell apart and stuff. So, um, so loads of people talking now. Been lucky with my group. Played every week for over 10 years.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, Crab Lord, that's mental.
Well
Uh,
done for you.
yeah, that's awesome. If I want to play D&D, I have to run it. See, I'm a forever DM as well.
Same.
Bale, I am a forever DM, but I love running it. I love running games. I really do. Um, See, we've devolved now into tabletop. Um, Geez, I didn't realise the time. So normally I don't go for this long.
All right.
So it's normally like an hour and 15, and that. But I suppose now I've recovered from surgery, I do have more energy,
Mm-hmm.
which is why this is happening. So
Well, we can
um,
always do a part two.
yes, well that's a running joke. So don't say part two. If Bolam's watching and he hears the word part two, he so Zara's very happy. Bale's very happy.
Yes.
So I'm very grateful for my current Pathfinder group. They're lovely, and I've had the chance um, to run a one shot for them. I
Zara, Zara asked if they found it weird seeing people in normal clothes afterwards. And I went to go help my Phoenix Guild pack up on the Sunday, and they
mm,
were all wearing civvies. And I was like, oh my God, you're all real people. What the hell? This is so weird.
yeah, yeah, I don't
They, they,
like
were-
it.
they're wearing jeans. What the hell are they doing wearing jeans? They're supposed to be wearing furs and leathers.
Yeah, normally I don't go for this long. R.I.P. Helen. Yeah, so we're in a little
Oops.
pokey flat, so I'm in the living room at the moment.
Mm.
So my wife goes and sits in the bedroom,
Oh,
and
oh.
so she's amazing. She's very supportive of of all this. So wait till you see everyone in kit in a service station on the way home. Yeah, it's
I
fun
mean,
as well.
that was the bus and the train on the train home. Everyone was in full kit, which was an experience.
Yeah, it's crazy. It
And then
is.
a lovely American lady sat next to me on the train and was like, "Well, where have you been?" I'm like, "Well,
Yeah,
listen, I'm called Buck and I like to gamble, and we'll start there."
yeah, that's fantastic. Steve's been replaced by a synth. Ah, thank you, Panda. Um, I've not even had a part one. Oh,
Oh,
Zara's awesome. She's been around for so long. She's been very, very supportive. Everyone here has. I love you. I love them all too much. Um, oh God, dear, oh dear. Yeah, completely lost the plot now. Yeah, so yeah, we'll do a part two. We'll have to do a part two, I think.
mhm.
Um, well, to
Well,
be honest,
we'll have loads of stories from me too when we in character have to interact a lot more.
yeah, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Oh, we love you too, Steve. Thank you, Zara.
Yeah, that's,
Sorry.
I just want to say that part of the like I talked about how welcoming everyone was at the event and stuff like that. But even post event and everything on there, especially with you, Steve, like I've felt very welcomed in the community as a whole, not just at Anvil, if that makes sense. Um, and I don't think it's because I like to think it's not because I had like a following outside, like in the D&D world before. Like if people who didn't know that about me, just like who just thought I was a regular Joe.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything. I don't want to come across like they should treat me different. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Um, everyone is like outside of the game, but in the hobby, has been extremely cool and chill and very welcoming. Like they want people to be in this hobby, and they know it's cool, and they want you to think it's cool because it is cool. So let's get you in it and make you have a good time. So that's been extremely fulfilling as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Everyone's really wonderful. Debbie Harry's going to drink the bar dry, and only cool kids play LARP. Cricket, it's cricket. Yes, I love that. That was really cool. So I was going to come up with a load of questions then before part two. So we'll do part two after E2 then, because we can just do a
Sounds
part
good.
two review, can't we? And that's really cool. I'm glad it's been yeah. Wait until you try all the other flavors of LARP too, because there's so many more.
Oh, the Witcher lap I really want to go to.
Northern Kingdoms.
Yes.
Yes, I want to do that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Dawn, we need to have a chat with Husband Face. So Dawn's husband face
Hmm.
wants to. He's one of the plot writers for Northern Kingdom.
Oh, no way.
So
I've
yeah,
I've only heard incredible things about it,
yeah, and
and
Bonham.
it seems very no, it's obviously a lot smaller than Empire, but it's like tickets sell out within minutes, so tough to get
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah, very very much so. Potato. I want to witch a larp so bad. Yep, join the club. There's so many other flavors. Didn't Witcher School finished. That was in Poland.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that went down in flames.
yeah, there's a lot of other ones out there as well. So, but we'll
Yeah, the
get
Witcher
to
one in the UK is run by iLarp, I believe,
yeah.
who do a lot of other very,
They
very
do. They
genres.
do loads. They do
Yeah,
loads. So I'm planning on going to their cowboy one that they're going to start up when the current run finishes as well.
that sounds fun.
So yeah. So yeah, Johnny and Kitty run that. So but still. Anyway, right. Let's call it there. So if
Yes,
you so everyone, thank you for coming along to watch this. This has been a lot of fun and the tangents return. That's basically it. It's they will always be here, and it's run at iLARP site once.
oh, it's not okay. My bad, my
Yeah,
bad.
so it does it. I think yeah, and then it's a bit further north as well at a different site. Um, so yeah, and the pirate they do a pirate one as well, and
Sick.
I'm looking at running a pirate one towards the end of the year as well.
That's cool. I have some pirate friends who are very into pirating, so maybe I'll tell them about that one.
Yeah, so that should be a good laugh. Thanks for the stream, guys. No, thank you everyone for coming on to watch. Scott, thank you so much for turning up.
Anytime.
I am so grateful you can appreciate that we had two dates in mind, and then I forgot to confirm a date.
Yeah, I got a notification on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm going to be live at 7 with Arsequeef," and I was like, "Oh, cool! I'll watch that."
Yeah, and there's me going, yeah, I forgot to confirm this. So this almost got cancelled. If Scott wasn't free, this would have been cancelled. So that was good. Um,
It worked out. It was fine.
yeah, no, this has been a good laugh. Right, let's go and raid someone. Who are we raiding tonight? Adorkable Corey. They're playing Dead by Daylight.
Adorable.
Yeah. Right, let's see if that was all going to turn off because it just does. Good night, lovely people. Cheers, ears. Good stream. So
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks for having me.
anytime. Anytime, mate. Thank you so much for coming on, and
Yeah.
thank you for chatting. If you hang around and chat for a second until everything's off, and then that'll be good to go. But everyone, go spread some love. Go be your wonderful, positive, wholesome selves, and yeah, go and enjoy a bit of Dead by Daylight for a few minutes. But anyway, you'll take care. You all have a good evening. And I'll speak to you soon.
Peace.
Bye.